I invested in my identity as an artist, as a musician, as a freestyle skier, and as a party animal. Those were the things that I was known for. So I kind of built my identity around, okay, this is what's going to give your life meaning. But when you're 18, 19, and you don't have a real point of reference, these are the things that I invested in. This is my identity. I took a loss when I was 22 years old that exposed how frail all those things were. I took a loss that shook me all the way down. By this time, I was doing a lot of drugs and partying quite a bit. I was kind of losing myself in that, which by design you're going to. It's a black hole, it'll swallow you up. And I just remember one particular day that I partied probably 3 days straight. A lot of drugs. We were awake for several days partying, and when I finally got to my bed, I sat on the edge of my bed and I said, probably not this eloquently, but the world tells you, hey, this is what's going to fulfill you. And the thought occurred to me, well, I just gave it everything I have, and I am empty. And I remember praying, and I didn't really know the Lord, but I knew of Him. I remember praying, Lord, don't give up on me yet. And it wasn't a come to Jesus moment. I didn't get on my knees. I wasn't repenting. I just realized how empty I had given it all that I have, and there was nothing there. I came into this loss, and it completely exposed all the things that I built my identity on. None of those things could sustain me through this. Not knowing where to turn, I descended further into drugs. I was using constantly. I had my stuff lined up by my bed when I wake up in the morning, and I knew what I was going to take and when. This began a huge spiral of really despair. I'm a joyful person, and I don't remember that guy very well, but I do remember what it was like to just completely lose all hope. Being known as a guitar player didn't matter. It didn't help. Being known as an artist, being known as a freestyle skier, being a partier, being the guy that they all came to, for that. None of that stuff, none of it could prop me up, and it really caused me to descend quickly. I found myself in such despair that I only slept maybe a couple hours a night because my dreams were dark, black, dead-end alleys. I weighed 120 pounds. I never ate. I didn't sleep. I was not healthy. My depression or my despair was a continual companion. Almost like you could reach out and touch it. The thing that it did to me was it planted the seed. When I'm out of my body, I'm out of pain. There's no more pain. And it became my solution. It planted a seed, and I said to myself, I take my life. All of a sudden, the pain becomes manageable. I was done. I was finished. And the more I thought about it, the more I had this sense of relief. And I realized that the only way this was going to be effectual is if I was serious. So I made plans. For about a month, I'd been planning. At the end of that week, that's the day. I'll do it then. When the last day finally came, I got in my car and went and saw some people, said some goodbyes. I mean, I didn't say goodbye. I never told anybody what I was doing. So I said some goodbyes, went back to my apartment, made a big meal, and didn't clean the kitchen because I didn't have to. And I chuckled to myself. That dark sense of humor, got a kick out of that. But an odd thing happened during that week. My mom, who was a Christian, had been praying for me, and turns out she had a lot of people praying for me. And at this point, your life is really small, in a good way. The thought that kept reoccurring, and kept reoccurring louder and louder, was taking your life is the antithesis of giving your life. And I realized, you can't take your life. You can't take your life because it's the opposite of giving your life. I did not want to be a Christian. I really fought against this. But I thought to myself, well, what do you have to lose now? What do you have to lose? And I laid on the floor in my apartment and I began to pray. I laid on the floor and wept, and I just asked the Lord. I said, Lord, I didn't know a sinner's prayer, but I just told him, if you will show me, I'll do it your way. I'll do it your way because I have nothing to lose. Look where I'm at. When I knew that I was not going to take my life, then this wall of emotion just washed over me. So that was the beginning. There was a lifting. Everything was different. Everything was new. I wasn't joyful by any means. I didn't know the Christianese. But I just knew that if I wasn't going to die, that I had to have him in order to proceed. I was going to see if the Lord could rebuild my life. That very night, my best Christian friend from high school, last time I'd seen him, he came to visit me, and I smoking a joint, and I blew it in his face, nasty. I wanted him to smell like pot wherever he went. He told me just about a few months ago on the phone, he told me, yeah, that night the Lord said, go see Scott. And I told the Lord, no, I don't want to. The Lord said, go see Scott. He goes, I don't want to. And the Lord said, go see Scott. So he came, and he ministered to me there. But also, there was a Christian girl that I knew all through high school. She knocks on the door and doesn't say anything, just comes in and goes into my kitchen, started cleaning. These are relevant points because as soon as I decided not to be God's enemy, he decided to be my friend. And he showed me right away, right out of the box, that moment that I was, that he was on my side. I know that it was a Saturday night, not because I'm Rain Man, but because I called my mom. And I said, Mom, what time is church in the morning? She went, who is this? I had tried to quit drugs 4 or 5 times, and I was very unsuccessful. I was not able. I just knew that if I didn't quit, I was going to die. And this, I'm not talking about taking my life. The drugs stopped that night. They just stopped. I did get myself into every Bible study and every fellowship that was available at the church because I knew that I needed to change my environment. I couldn't be with the friends that I was with. I couldn't be at the parties. But that whole year, I was in every Bible study, and I was in church on Sunday morning. I was in church Sunday night. And at the end of the year, I had done a whole year without doing any drugs. And when I first began with the Lord, I had no idea. I thought this was just a way to survive. The thing that I didn't anticipate was healing. I didn't know that he was going to make a way out. I got way more than I bargained for. The way God has blessed my wife and my family and the things that I never thought would be mine. The wife that the Lord has blessed me with, I can't believe that I get to be married to Lois. And then to have all three of my boys, and to see them enter manhood and not have a problem with drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, and have values and be honest young men, really it's those things are more than I had hoped for. 35 years later, the Lord is still graciously bringing me along. I could never have seen that coming.